make noise.
I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. Or maybe lean in a little bit. I'm trying to be quiet because it's going to get me.
So what now?
So I'm a giant, you know, whatever. So let's take a picture.
Let's not take pictures.
So I don't know what I'm showing you. Anyway. This is the musicians. This is where you'll be. Musicians right here.
Will there be people up here with us the whole time, like the musicians?
I think it'll be just
Is Ralph Norton going to be?
I don't know.
Well, let's walk off the stage.
Oh, yeah.
She is off the stage.
So I guess whichever one is going to be reading for, I guess whoever's standing here, whichever reads will come over, and this is the microphone we're going to be using, and just pull it down.
Good morning, everybody. If we could just for a quick sec have Sia raise your hands if you're from St. Charles. We're having a hard time locating you, and we think you may still be on a bus. St. Charles. Anyone from St. Charles? I guess not. Okay. Sit tight. We're going to start in about 2 minutes, okay? Okay, good morning, everybody. Is everybody excited? We are so excited to have you here today. I have a couple of announcements to make, but before we go any further, I would like to personally thank Mountain Empire Community College, Amy Greer, who's going to have a couple of words for you, and Alan and T-Bone up there, who are going to take care of some very exciting things that are going to be happening today on the Jumbotron. So thank you so much to Mountain Empire. Obviously, this could not happen without these guys, and this is such a beautiful setting, so I'm going to turn this over to Amy Greer.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. On behalf of Mountain Empire Community College, I just want to welcome you to our campus. I thank everyone for being here. I'm really excited about your project, especially because you've collected information from your relatives and information about the area. It's a great project, and you're preserving the cultural heritage of our region. One of the things I wanted to note is that this college, Mountain Empire, also works to protect our cultural heritage as well. And we do that through a couple of different programs that I wanted to let you know about. Number one, this summer we have Mountain Music School. How many of you guys have heard of Mountain Music School? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, Mountain Music School, if you write for a scholarship, it's just a really quick essay. You can go for free, and you can learn any instrument, string instrument of your choice, and that includes guitar, banjo, mandolin, the fiddle. So you go for the whole week, and you'll learn traditional mountain music, and we would encourage you to sign up and come to that. It's a great program. Something else you may not know about, our library here at Mountain Empire Community College has a collection of archives from Wise County and their historical society, as well as information from the Melungeon history, okay? Have you guys ever heard of Melungeons? Yes, we house all of the Melungeon historical collection here in our library. So if you're interested in knowing more about your family, come to our campus, go to the library. There will be folks happy to help you do your genealogy or just learn more about our region, okay? I hope you have a great day today. I'm so excited to hear what you all have written, and if I can do anything else, just let me know. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amy. And I was particularly excited. I did not know until today that there was something special here about Melungeon history. And this is something that we're going to be working on to get into the Origin Project Book 5. So if any of you wanted to come here in the summer and do a little work on that, that would be great. So I think that's something very special about the culture in Appalachia. So welcome to all of you, to the teachers, to the parents, to the mamas and papas, and very, very special welcome to our new published authors. This is really an exciting thing to be a published author at your age. This is just an amazing thing. So before we go any further, I want to make one comment about what's right here is this extraordinary art exhibition that we have compliments of Katie Jesse, our teacher, our art teacher at Eastside. Where is she? I'd love her to stand. Where is she? There she is. Thank you so much, Katie. And you will see when you get copies of your book that this is highlighted in the book. But these are some tremendous, incredible artists that were guided by a wonderful teacher. So thank you so much. And if you want on your way out to take a quick look at this, that would be great too. We have a couple of dignitaries. I haven't seen them, and maybe they're here or coming. Shane Clem, who is here representing Senator Mark Warner's office. You're going to be hearing from Senator Warner in just a couple of minutes. And I thought, and I believe, Delegate Terry Kilgore might be here or will be coming. So thank you so much to them. As always, I want to thank Grace Bradshaw, who is an incredible help to the Origin Project and has been with us from the very beginning. And of course, to Linda Woodward, who is our capable assistant, advocate, ambassador, and much of this could absolutely not happen without her. And so she is retired from Flatwoods Elementary, which is one of our dear schools, and we adore her. And thank you, Grace, thank you, Linda, and thanks to all of you. So I think we have kind of a tight schedule here. So first thing we're going to do here is we are going to hear from Senator Mark Warner.
When I was governor, I worked to help create projects like the Crooked Road, Round the Mountain, and Heartland. All successful music trails and efforts on arts and crafts that show the heart and soul of music and artisans in your region. And today, you, by publishing this book, are helping share stories that are not often told, but need to be heard. Maya Angelou, a famous author herself, once said, quote, "There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you, in a book." Well, today, all of you are letting your stories out into the open for the whole world to see. So we thank you for that. Again, congratulations on your book, and I look forward to reading it soon.
I hope you all were as honored as I was that he took time to make that announcement for all of you guys. So we're proud of you, he's proud of you, and with that, without any further ado, I think we're going to begin with our readers. I once again want to just make sure the St. Charles people, are you here? Sadly, they're not. Hopefully, they're going to come. I have not looked at my phone and gotten a text, but if they come at any point, we're going to put them up here. And if not, you're going to read about them in the book. Oh, you know what? This might be a good moment to unveil the book. You can make a little drum roll in your mind or on your lap, because this is a very big moment. I know I was not published at your age, so this is a very exciting moment. So, with love from all of us, the Origin Project, Book 4. Excellent. You should give yourselves a round of applause. So, you're all going to get them at the end of this, everyone who wrote, and your families, and the teachers, of course. So we'll be showing this to you closer up later. So we're going to begin with East Side High School, and Miss Woodward or Miss Linda is going to announce the readers and let them come up all at once.
If the East Side readers would stand and come and I will introduce you as you prepare to read when you get up here, please. Okay. We have The Kitchen, written by Rosalind Ham.
The kitchen. I used to sit on the counter while you made your coffee, sweet with extra creamer. Mom said I couldn't drink any until I was older, but that didn't stop you from sneaking me a sip or two. I used to stand on my tiptoes to see what you were cooking, sopa and tacos. Papa said I was going to burn myself, but you just picked me up and let me stir. I used to climb under the table to try to scare you, crouching down and trying to stifle my giggles. Bub said I wasn't funny, but you pretended you were amused anyway. Now I stand at the counter and pour my own coffee, dark and bittersweet. I stand at the stove cooking while I remember smells of foods we rarely make, soup beans and cornbread. I walk past the table as Jay jumps out and I listen to his laugh, unique and melodious, music to my ears.
Is Joshua Levy here also with the East Side group? If he'll come to the stage, please, Joshua. The Garden, written by Rachel McCowan.
The garden. The garden is my special place, my happy place. I go there when I'm lonely, sad, happy, and thankful. I take my current read and sit there for hours in the sweet sunshine. The smell of honeysuckle and roses fill my nostrils. I can hear the water of the small stream flowing over the rocks, making tiny waterfalls that sparkle in the summer sunlight. Birds chirp happily while the honeybees buzz, taking nectar from flower to flower. I feel relaxed and content. I can sit out here for hours and drink lemonade and snack on cookies, going from book to book, listening to the sounds of God's beautiful creation. The garden is my secret place. It's magical. The way the soft breeze ruffles my hair and the water glitters like jewels. I wouldn't be surprised if I were to see a unicorn, perhaps a fairy. It would fit right in with how picturesque that my garden is. Summer nights are just as grand as the daytime. I take pillows and blankets and cuddle up to watch the starry night sky. I ponder and think about the universe and what it may hold. The Christmas lights that my dad put up for me several years ago still give me just enough illumination to see where I'm at. My garden. The garden where I'll take my first love. The garden where every flower and every white lace garden chair know my secrets. The garden where I've cried for characters in books for hours. The garden where I've danced barefoot in the soft grass and swung happily from the old swing with vines growing up the side. The garden who is more like a guardian, showing me love each year with new flowers blooming. Roses, lilies, sunflowers, and honeysuckles. Although I may be going through hard changes in life, I know that my flowers will always bloom back after a harsh winter. Leaving, but yet always to return. The garden is where I grow just like my sweet flowers.
We have this. Is he ready?
Okay, we're going to interrupt the order for just a quick moment because we have a special guest who's going to come on. And
We need Cole Chandler to come to the stage, please.
Okay, I think we're ready. I know you're patient. It's going to be fine. Just give it a couple of minutes. Oh, okay. You know what? We're going to do a couple of readings here. Linda, I think what we'll do is we will have Suzanne. This is Suzanne reading The Sidewalk.
There, on the slate sidewalk by my grandparents' back porch, is the feeding ground of many a hungry bird. My favorite pastime there is to look through the screened window of the kitchen. With their beaks full, a conclave of cardinals sing muffled songs, as bands of blue jays quarrel on the concrete to chase off their crimson counterparts. House finches dangle upside down from a thistle sock, pecking away at the pores. From the gurgling cowbirds to the tiny chickadees, it's such a pleasure to watch the creatures fly from tree to tree. They hop around on the ground and flutter their wings. Bird watching is my favorite thing to do, watching from the window screen.
Thank you, Suzanne. That was beautiful. All of you guys are doing such an incredible job, and you're being nice and flexible with reading and waiting and all of that. So we're proud of you, and now I think we're good to go. So, up there. All the wonders of technology. Can't live with it or without it. But you can look at the logo. Some of you may not know that that was painted by the mother of a friend of mine, and it's a little person looking at the Blue Ridge Mountains and imagine what it's like growing up in Appalachia. And she has never left Colorado, where she's lived her whole life. So I think she did a pretty good job of what it's like here, because it is very, very beautiful here. Here we go. This is so exciting. I guess you can tell we're going to be hearing from the Capitol in Washington, right? Yes, live from the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Okay, you know what? We're going to have one more reader here. So, Linda? Oh, we're through. Okay, so that's the end of Eastside. You know what we'll do is, could we have Joshua Levy come up to the stage for a quick second? Oh, Joshua, I'm sorry. Okay, Joshua, I apologize for that. We are so proud of Joshua. Would you like to? Yours is over there, right? Joshua's going to let us see the art that won an award. Come.
Eastside participated in a pilot program to interpret their heritage through art. Miss Katie Jesse, the art teacher, has several art students who've done just a beautiful job in the pilot, and Joshua has won a 4-year art scholarship to Emory and Henry College. This is one of the pieces. If you're one of the art students from Eastside High School who was in this pilot art project, would you please stand?
Congratulations, Joshua. We're so proud of it, and we are so excited to have this as a part of the Origin Project. Art is really, obviously, like music, you know, a wonderful expression of your imagination and what you can do to express yourself. And these kids have done such a great job with Katie at the helm. So thank you and congratulations, Joshua. Shall I keep reading? Okay, we are now going to move, we're going to keep you guys right there. And we're going to move on to Flatwoods Elementary.
If Flatwoods Elementary students would please walk to the stage. The readers. Yes, thank you. Okay. Okay. Boys and girls, if you'll... Thank you. Thank you. From Flatwoods Elementary, we have The Big Fish Memory by Seth Cowden, please.
The Big Fish Memory. In my interview about childhood memories, I interviewed my mom, Sabrina Cowden. My mom lived in Georgia and was camping near a really big river with family and friends. Her favorite childhood memory was spent in these Georgia camping trips. They ran trout lines on the bank where they were camping and on an island close to them. They spent all night baiting and checking the lines, but they could not catch anything. But every time they checked the lines, all the bait was gone. Then it came morning, and they were mad because they could not catch anything. They were packing up and getting ready to leave when this man yelled for help on the other side of the river. They asked what was wrong, and the man said, Can you come help me get this fish across the river? He held up the fish, and it was as long as him. So they went and helped with the fish. I think this memory is cool because my mom said that the fish was really big, and I haven't heard about a fish that big. That isn't just a fish tale. This memory is important to her because she likes to fish and has never seen a fish that big.
Is Emma Hobbs in the audience? Emma must have been unable to attend today. We now have Leah Grace Cowden reading Tell Me About a Game from the Past. Leah and the next two readers are part of a second grade pilot for the Origin Project this year. Okay. You ready?
During the month of October,
October 2017, I interviewed Linda Cat and my nanny. My nanny was born in 1942. She told me about the game checkers that she played as a child. My nanny told me that she played this game with her dad. This is how she explained the game to me. Dad and I went and sat in her house and she said to me, you move the checkers and try to jump the other teams. Try to take all of the other team's checkers. Playing checkers sounds really fun.
Can I give you a little help?
That was absolutely fantastic. So I now think we have our guest ready to go. Hello, Senator Kane. I'm so glad you made it. I hope we have it. Hi there. It's so wonderful to have you here, and we know. Look, they're very excited. We're so excited to have you, Senator Kane, and I know this is taking you away from obviously very, very, very busy business. So we're so honored that you're here, and Adri sends her love. The audience here doesn't even know this. They know she's not here, but she can't be here, and she's actually going to be Skyping after you, Senator Kane, because she is flying to Scotland tomorrow where she's going to be directing a movie. So she sends her love to you, and I do as well, of course, and to your wife. But we are so thrilled you're here with the Origin Project. So you take it away and talk to us, please.
All right, well, thank you to Nancy and to my good friend Adriana, who is not with you, but I just wanted to say to all the students connected to the Origin Project how glad I am to be with you, and look what I'm holding. I have this 2018 book right here in front of me, and just so you'll know, let me tell you first about my connection to Appalachia and Big Stone Gap and Wise, and then I'll tell you why I love the Origin Project, and I understand I may get to hear a couple of readers before I sign off. My wife Ann grew up in Toronto, but her dad's family
Oh, thank you so much, Senator Canaan. Let me say before we sign off that Adrian and I both feel like you've been such an incredible advocate for the Origin Project since even before it began. So we are deeply grateful to you and your wife for your support for this project. And since we've gone from 1,400 to over 1,300 kids, 40 kids to 1,300, and who knows where we're going from here. So thanks for all your help. We're going to hear from Luvina Ball with an article, her story called "Why the Origin Project Matters."
Hey. This project means so much to so many people. It brings families closer together, and it doesn't let the past die. From learning from the older generations, their stories are heard while letting the younger generations know more about the past that could have been forgotten. Through this project, I learned that my dad had to propose 3 different times before my parents got married, and that my great uncles saved hundreds of lives. This project has made me cry countless times, has made me a stronger person because of it. The Origin Project let me open my heart, remember my grandfather, and let me heal from his passing. He was an important figure in my life, and remembering his house and all the memories connected to it has let me feel closer to him even after death. Not only has it served as a healing process, it let me grow closer to my family. I've closed myself off to so many people, and I didn't realize I was my own island until this project. Through the Origin Project, I have been able to create an archipelago because an island cannot prevail a storm alone. This project has been a life changer for me, and I will forever be thankful for it.
Thank you so much, Luvina. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Senator Kane, do you want to talk to her before we have the next one?
Well, I would just say I love that this project has taught me that I'm not an island. I love that line, and I'm going to remember that too.
Beautiful. Okay. Now we have Cole Chandler from Union Middle School, who's going to read My Dad's Store, and I'm sure his dad is very proud. Is his dad in the audience by any chance? He's probably at it. There you are. Well, congratulations to you, too. Go ahead, Cole. Thank you.
My Dad's Store. This is a story of our family business, Big Boar Outfitters. It is located in Big Stone Gap and was established by my dad, Robbie Chandler, in April of 1998. Our business sells mainly guns, and we also sell hunting and fishing supplies. We also have taxidermy services available for our customers. When the business began almost 20 years ago, my dad was working in the coal mines, mining coal. He worked for Paramount Coal Company on the hoot owl shift. He would mine coal at night and work the store during the day. My mom, my aunt, and my grandfather would help as much as they could. My grandfather would open the store in the mornings while my dad would be sleeping, and then Dad would come around at lunchtime and work the rest of the day. Then about a year later, in 1999, after my mom and Dad got married, Dad quit his job in the mines to run the store full time. Now, after almost 20 years, it is just my dad and mom running the store. My dad was brought up hunting, fishing, and trapping. He especially loved guns and shooting. He always had coon dogs and coon hunted every chance he got. As a boy, my dad would get up early before school and run his trap lines. It was his love of the outdoors and hunting that led to his dream opening his own sporting goods store. My dad has been many places hunting. One of the best memories of him is taking me to Illinois to hunt. I killed a ram and a 13-point buck that year. My older sister hunts as well and has killed a deer and a turkey. My favorite things to do with my dad are trapping and bear hunting. At our store, there is always someone sharing a hunting tale or fishing story. I enjoy being at the store and listening to their stories. My dad has instilled me a love for the outdoors. I think being at our store and hunting are things that I'll always enjoy.
Colin, that was amazing. That was an amazing story, and it was read so beautifully. You did a fantastic job. I'm so proud of you, all of you. Aren't you too, Senator Kane? They're just amazing.
Just say one word by the
25 years from now when you retire, he can run for your seat.
And if I could just say one more thing, I think one of the really neat parts of Paul's story was, first, I love the outdoors, and so I'm completely with him and his dad in that, but I thought one of the neat parts of this story was that at the store, people are always sharing stories. So a story about a camping trip, a story about a hunting trip, probably bringing in photos of their trips. And so even before this origin project, it sounds like Paul was captivated not just by the outdoors, but also by storytelling. And you can really see that in what he's done. So to the two students who have presented, I really value having had a chance to just join you for a few minutes. And anything I can do, Nancy, you know, to help the Origin Project, I want to help, and my wife does too. And I will have this version for 2018 on the desk in my office so that when people come in, I can tell them to just open the any page and read something and learn a little bit about a beautiful part of the world in the Powell Valley and in Southwest Virginia. So I'm glad I could join you today for a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Senator Canaan. Please give our best to your wife, too. Have a wonderful summer, and I hope you'll come and visit us maybe in the fall. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wasn't that exciting? He's a wonderful man. I've been fortunate enough to get to know him. He's really, really something, as is his wife. We are now going to move back to Flatwoods Elementary and to two very, very patient girls who are going to read their stories. So, Miss Woodward.
We have two more second grade readers. Ava Fortner is going to read A Memory from My Mom's Past.
My mom, Sara Williams, was born in 1979. One of her favorite childhood memories was when she was in second grade. The whole entire school participated in the play called The Nutcracker. The girls wore tutus and danced in front of the entire school. My mom overcame her fear of getting in a crowd of people.
Fantastic.
Now, Mia Fortner will tell you about a memory from their dad's past.
My dad, Johnny Fortner, was born in 1978. One of his favorite childhood memories was with his papa. His papa was his best friend. They loved to go hunting together and have long talks. It is special because my dad was very close to his papa and loved him very much.
That was so beautiful. I bet we have a very proud mom and dad there, too. That is really, really exciting. Okay, now we're going to have something very exciting. We are going to have some music by Katie Hoffman, who is coming up to the stage. And we know that music is such an important part of the Origin Project. I know a lot of your schools do projects, including, and I know a lot of you have written about it, and she's going to perform for us some really, really authentic Appalachian music. So thank you, Katie, so very much for being with us.
Well, I'm really... Check. Oh, there I am. I'm really excited to be here. Last Saturday, I emceed the Youth Music Festival at Heartwood for the Crooked Road. And I got to see all kinds of talented young people on Saturday performing music. And it is so typical of Southwest Virginia that it hasn't even been a week and I get to see all kinds of more talented young people from Southwest Virginia. So congratulations to you for all your accomplishments this year in the Origin Project. We had some Origin Project readers at the Youth Music Festival last weekend, and they were a really, really big hit. So, thank you for everything you're doing, and I think you should keep it up. When I was thinking about what to sing for you today, I thought I might sing one really, really old song. And because you're sharing what you've written with us, I thought second I would do a song that I wrote. So this first song came over here a long time ago from the British Isles, and it's called The Cuckoo. And I sing it a cappella because that's the, yes, I hear the cuckoo noises back there. Y'all are good at that too. So here's how the song goes. The cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. She sings as she flies. She brings us glad tidings. She tells us no lies. She drinks from the pretty flowers to make her voice clear. And she never sings cuckoo till the spring of the year. A walking and a talking and a rambling go I. I'm waiting for sweet Willie, he'll come by and by. I'll meet him in the morning, he's all my delight. I will walk and talk with him from morning till night. Come all you young women, take a warning from me. Don't hang your affection on a green growing tree. The branches will wither, the roots they will die. You will all be forsaken, and you'll know not for why. If I am forsaken, I'll not be forsworn, and he's surely mistaken if he thinks that I'll mourn. I'll get myself up in some higher degree, and I'll walk as light by him as he can by me. That cuckoo, she's a pretty bird. She sings as she flies. She brings us glad tidings. She tells us no lies. She drinks from the pretty flowers to make her voice clear. And she never sings cuckoo till the spring of the year. There you go. Thank you. I'm going to go get my guitar. I'll be right back. You might notice a little bit of a theme going with the two songs that I chose, and that's birds. Suzanne. I have a thing about birds, and one of my favorite birds is red-winged blackbird. And since you all are sharing your material, I thought I'd share something that I wrote with you. I was a college professor, an English professor for a long time. That's another reason why I love the Origin Project. And I wrote this song about an experience that one of my students had. It's called I Wish I Were a Blackbird. Well, I wish I were a blackbird with feathers dark as coal, then I wouldn't have to worry. No more troubles in my soul if I didn't want to be. I'd simply fly away like a red-winged blackbird on a sunny
cold, then I wouldn't have to worry. No more troubles in my soul. If I didn't want to be here, I'd simply fly away like a red-winged blackbird on a sunny autumn day. Like a red-winged blackbird on a sunny autumn day.
Thank you, and I want to give one compliment to the teachers and the parents and the folks who work with the Origin Project. This is such a nice, polite, well-mannered group of young people. I appreciate that, and I think you should give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for having me.
I thought that was extraordinarily beautiful. So thank you for being such a good audience, because that was lovely music. I think we're still waiting for another visit electronically. So could we have the readers from Lehigh come up? Okay, Ms. Woodward is going to announce these people. Oh, we have some people coming in. Maybe it's St. Charles. Are these lovely girls who are coming in from St. Charles? Oh, well, welcome. Welcome anyway. Okay, let's go.
We have one other young man from Lehigh. If you'll come on up now,
Thank you.
please. Thank you. We're going to begin with readers from Lehigh. The authors from Lehigh weren't able to attend today, so some of the other students from Lehigh dual credit English class have volunteered to read for these people. And one of you will wait and read when we Skype with Adri. So if you'll just stand here with these young ladies, please. Anna Davis wrote a composition entitled Checker Champion, and we have a young person to read for Anna. If you'll introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Alex Willis, and I'm reading on behalf of Anna Davis. Checker Champion. My great-grandfather, Paul Davis, is one extraordinary man. He started the business Davis Brothers Nursery and worked there with his brother for many years. He was married to his wife, Mary, and together they had 3 children, Jacinta, James, my grandfather, and Teresa. Throughout his life, he has accomplished an amazing title. Once he retired from the nursery business, Paul took up playing checkers. At his house now, there is a room overflowing with trophies, medals, newspaper articles, checkerboards, and checkers. Good was an understatement. Paul began his addiction as a small child playing at a country store. However, he does not remember his very first game. In an interview, he said, "You get good by having somebody beat you for about a year." He started playing more and more, beating every amateur that crossed his path. Eventually, he commenced competing in tournaments. Of course, he endlessly continued to be victorious over his opponents. Over time, he moved up and was playing in more advanced competitions, strengthening his skills. He developed his capabilities so much that he could beat you in a game every single time. Multiple people would team up to try and win, but never succeeded. Paul was so advanced in his checker playing expertise that he could win from another room without even looking at the board. How? On his personal checkerboards, each square was numbered, and he knew which square was which number. Someone could be using the board during a match and say, "I moved my checker from square 3 to 4. He, not even glancing at the board, could say, "Move my piece from square 8 to 7 and win." Papa became so advanced at playing checkers, he could not find anyone locally to challenge to a game. His family and friends all knew that he was too good and they stood no chance. Paul began traveling in order to find worthy opponents of equal or better skills to further his own. He and his wife traveled across the country to play checkers. Mary said in an interview that they would plan their vacations around his checker matches. They became so frequent. In 1988, my papa won the title of the United States Go As You Please Checker Champion and went on to complete the international level. The following year, 1989, Paul Davis competed in the worldwide GAYP Checker Championship. Even though he was not victorious, the opportunity alone to play internationally is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Not only did he represent the country, but he also represented our community and family in an outstanding way. Like I said, good was an understatement.
Cherie Schuler wrote a piece entitled Band, and we have someone graciously reading.
My name is Hannah Moore, and I'm speaking on Sherry Ann's behalf. Band. I've always found it ironic how the thing I love the most is also the thing I complain about the most. I complain when waking up at an ungodly hour to head to school for practice, while walking up to the practice field when the director scheduled after-school practices because we just couldn't get the visuals down, or when riding a bus packed full of tired and hot students. Although I was mostly enduring an activity for my mother's sake my freshman year, marching band grew on me like no other entity ever has. And now at my last year as a marching general, I am finding it difficult to move on, though I'm excited and prepared to continue my journey in music throughout college and later in life. And the thought of becoming a marching Royal Duke has me euphoric. I'm still tentative to leave behind the people who have helped me grow into the person I am today. A lot of my friends not in band can't understand why I rarely am available to go out. They won't understand why I might have to play through scales for 3 hours or work on the same 5 measures until my hands want to desert me, or why I can't skip practice for just one day. They haven't experienced the high that comes after a performance or the pride in knowing how hard you work to make everything your best. When I came into high school, I was scared. I didn't know anybody, and I was sure the next 4 years would be the loneliest of my life. However, becoming a marching general gave me a place in the school. It meant people would smile at me in the hallway when I passed. I had people to sit with in class and in lunch, and I had upperclassmen to give me advice on surviving high school. It also required work. Marching band took up a great deal of the time I needed for studying and homework. Balancing my studies and the music developed a great work ethic in my life. I had to practice effectively and study productively, or I was wasting my own time that I could have been spent more wisely. Coming into high school, I wasn't just scared of being alone. I was also scared of people. I couldn't stand in front of a crowd of 10 without stuttering. My band directors put me in roles of leadership and pushed me out of my comfort zone every opportunity they got. And when I expressed a desire to be a drum major my sophomore year, they patiently worked with me until I was confident enough to achieve that goal my junior and senior year. Now I'm able to stand in front of crowds without hesitation because of my band. My public speaking ability has exponentially improved, and it makes me a better leader in person. I am grateful for how music and band have molded me as a person. It has led me to be more confident, hardworking, adaptive, and prepared. It has also made me more open to compromise and improve my ability to be a team member. I am ready to take the next step in my life of music and let it lead to even higher places in college. I am eager to make a whole new group of people my family, challenge myself in new ways, and broaden my scope throughout my college career.
Maggie Zhang wrote a piece entitled Grandparents, and we have a substitute reader. Thank you.
I'm Maddie Mae, but I'm going to be reading for Maggie Zhang. My grandpa's name is Ren Gang Zhang, and my grandma's name is Jin Zhan Zhang. My grandparents are in China, where they have lived their whole entire lives. My grandpa is 71 and my grandma is 67. My grandpa loves to plant vegetables and flowers. My grandma, on the other hand, loves to cook. To me, I think my grandma is an amazing cook. My grandpa and grandma met each other by arranged marriage. A lot of people at the time had a lot of children, but my grandparents only had 2. They only had a boy and a girl. My dad being the oldest. My grandpa has hearing problems, so every time my grandma would talk to him, she would have to scream in order for him to hear what she was saying. At the apartment, they each have their own responsibilities. My grandma would be in charge of cooking, cleaning, and washing clothes, and washing dishes after every meal. She's in charge of doing the grocery shopping. In China, most people go grocery shopping every day. Usually they go very early in the morning, around 5 o'clock. They go grocery shopping first thing in the morning because everything is fresh in the market. My grandpa, on the other hand, is in charge of watering plants, fixing things that are broken, and sometimes he would help my grandma cook. After every meal, they always go out and take a walk. They would walk for about 20 minutes before they head back to the apartment. My grandparents helped take care of me, my sister, and brother when we were very young. They took care of us until we were about 4 when we come to America. Both of my grandparents loved taking care of us when we were very young. After we all went to America, they had to take care of their other grandson. They told me that they had an amazing time taking care of us. Every time I talk on the phone with them, they would ask me if everything is going okay, and they wanted us to come visit in the summer. I have been to China twice since I have come to America. Both times I had a wonderful time to spending time with my grandparents and exploring. My favorite vacation is spending time with my grandparents because I do not get to see them often.
I think what we'll do is have the kids from Norton come up now. We might have another visitor here, or maybe we should read ahead. You guys are a great audience. Katie was right. I'm just really amazed, especially since we've added second graders. This is a lot for little ones to handle, so we're very proud of you. This is great. Are you enjoying the stories? Aren't they wonderful? As Senator Kane said, each one of these, you could just open the book to any page and you could read a story and you could just have this unbelievable experience of what it's like to grow up here. When Adria asked me to do this, I'd never even been here. And now I've been here dozens and dozens of times, and I love it, and I consider it my home away from home, and you are all very lucky to live here. So the stories really tell a lot, and I think there must be a lot of families in here. Oh my goodness, I think it's time. Enough of me. Hello, hello, my darling friend.
Can you hear me?
How are you? You're in your office. I can see. Go ahead. I'll stop talking. You talk. Yeah, how about that?
I stayed up all night. I have read along the way. It's beautiful work, but I stayed up and I really got into it last night, and I cannot believe it. You have done such an extraordinary job. I am so proud of you. Now tell us by your applause. Did you enjoy writing this year?
Would you like us to have a couple of people read to you right now? Okay, we're going to start off, Adri, for one with Jonas Reeser, who's going to read College Admission Essay, his writing of this.
Hello, my name is Alex Haley, and I will be reading on the behalf of Jonas Reeser. The morning was cool and dreary as I sat in the threshold of my beloved farmhouse. I sluggishly slipped my aching feet into my earthen-covered cowboy boots as my father tried to hurry me along. As I tiredly walked towards my young horse, and the only thing crossing my mind was going back to bed, I loaded my saddle with my lasso and gloves and fastened it to his sturdy back. The vibrant bleating grew more and more excited every minute as we prepared to wrangle the escaped cattle. I looked off into the distance at the rolling mountains that hugged the valley. A blanket of fog engulfed them as the moon hovered overhead and the sun creeped over the horizon. My father and I mounted our anxious steeds and rode towards the immense herd of rogue steers. As my mom was finally concentrated on the task at hand, I knew it was going to be a long day. As we rode through the endless fields of oats, covered by rain of the thunderstorm the night before, we could hear the bellows of the petrified cattle. We gained speed to prevent the large herd from going any farther away from home. The breath of our horses roared as we gained more and more ground on the hundreds of frantically moving hoofs. As we finally approached the startled animals, you could see the fear in their eyes. My father quickly went to the left flank to prevent the herd from splitting, but the terror-stricken beasts proved too much for one person. I immediately dug my spurs into my horse's side and quickly went to my father's aid. After what seemed like an eternity, we had finally gotten the steers under control. As we began our journey home, and my father felt comfortable enough to herd the cattle himself, he instructed me to find the patch of fence where the rambunctious steers had escaped from. I rode ahead of the slowly moving herd. The sun was now fully over the horizon, blistering the dark soil that my horse walked upon. As I gradually made my way back home, I rested at my grandparents' small farmhouse. There my grandmother had breakfast prepared, a home meal of oatmeal, biscuits, and gravy and sausage from the boar I raised the year before. While enjoying my meal, my withered grandfather told me stories of wrangling steers in his heyday. After finishing my meal and helping my grandmother with dishes, I went back to work. I rode for hours looking for the patch of broken fence, but finally I found a large tree that had been struck by the lightning. The old tree lay on the fence and had made a perfect escape point for the cattle. I dismounted from my horse, and after about an hour or two, I had removed the tree and successfully repaired the fence. At this point, my father had finally gotten all these steers back behind the fence. After we had gotten all the work done for the day, we made our way back to our house, where there we ate a dinner prepared by my mother, and after I went back to my bed, where I sorely wanted to lay all day.
That was wonderful. Adri, take it away.
Thank you, Alex, on behalf of Jonas, but that is the most beautiful college essay, and it does everything that the Origin Project is about. It's about the intergenerational relationship of a grandson with his grandfather and love of the land. It's incredible. Love it. Great job, Jonas. Thank you, Alex.
And Adri, now we have a treat for you because Harper Potter, you remember Harper from last year, is going to read her piece, New Beginnings.
New beginnings. One of my family's new traditions is that we go to St. Jude in Memphis, Tennessee, because I was diagnosed with undifferentiated embryonal sarcoma of the liver, which is a very rare type of cancer, like 1 in a million. And I had to have 7 rounds of chemo and 24 rounds of radiation, but I kicked its butt. So I have to go to Memphis every 3 months to make sure it did not come back. Other than that, we go eat barbecue, Gus's fried chicken, or Mom picks somewhere good. Then we usually go celebrate because I got good scans. Then we either go to Bass Pro Shops in the Pyramid or go to the arcade. Then we go eat dessert and go to the hotel. The next day we go home. So that's my family's new tradition.
Thank you, Carter and Harper. And I think every single person in this audience, when you say the challenge to kick its butt, we all agree with that, and amen to that. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. Those are our readings for you, my dear friend. I explained to them, by the way, that you are heading off to Scotland tomorrow, and that's why you're not with us. But you're with us, and you'll always be with us, and I know you'll be with us in the fall. And as you say, we're going to have some exciting events in the fall, and maybe even a couple different authors next year, if we can do that. And we, of course, wish you well in this exciting venture you're going off on. Thank you, Adri. Have a safe trip. I'll talk to you probably tonight. Love you. That was great, and thanks to our readers. And we're gonna move into Norton, and I just want to make a personal comment here because our first reader, Miss Woodward, is going to announce, but it's Colin Hart, and he wrote about his Nana, who is sitting over there, and it is Hope Hart, and she has been very, very important with the Origin Project. She's worked with us, and we owe her a debt of gratitude, and we're just so proud that you wrote about your Nana. So take it away.
Nana. If you have a grandmother, you probably know how special they are. That's why I chose to write about mine. Samelia Hope Hart, Nana to me. She is truly wonderful. She had an enjoyable childhood. She rode her bike, went swimming in a swimming hole, made mud pies, and roller skated on concrete sidewalks. She did all of that growing up in Appalachian Kilbourne Avenue. Nana's parents were extremely strict. Her favorite relatives were her great aunt and uncle because they had no children of their own, so they spoiled her. Nana's granddad would tell her stories about the man with the golden arm. The man with the golden arm was a man who found gold and had people make him a golden arm. But somebody found him and killed him and took his arm. The man with the golden arm is still wandering around the woods, repeatedly saying, "Who stole my arm?" Growing up, her son, which is my dad, was like a social butterfly. He had friends older than him and his own age. He loved to play basketball, baseball, and tennis. My Nana taught school for a living. She was very good, and she taught my dad, who was the one that told me that she was good. Nana and I make fun crafts, making necklaces, drawing and coloring, melting crayons into pictures, and many more. That's not the only things we made, though. When my cousins and I were little, she made us wash our hands a lot, so my oldest cousin Mav called her Soapy Hopi. She wants to be remembered as a good parent and a teacher. I know she will.
Sara Williams is with us today to read Back to the Past.
Back to the past. Have you ever heard a bell sound welcoming you to school? Maybe not, but back in 1892, that's what happened. It's time to go back in time to 1892 and go to Oak Hill School, a one-room schoolhouse in Jonesboro, Tennessee. There are a lot of changes from school in 1892 to 2018. The one that stood out the most was that it was only one room. These days, we can't fit one grade in one room. I can't imagine 8. To heat the room, you have to use a potbelly stove. There were 2 people at a desk, and you had to share a McGuffey's reading book. If you're wondering what the bathroom was called, it was called an outhouse, and you used it outside. One change that really stood out was that you had to curtsy if you were a girl and bow if you were a boy. In 1892, that was called giving your manners to your school marm. Some of the things that you used back then, we don't even know what they are now. Some of the tools are a slate board, quill pen, a McGuffey's reader. Slate boards are really like small chalkboards. The reason that they are hard is because the chalk was really small and the boards are too. In 1892, they called math arithmetic. That's what we did on the slate board. The quill pens are pretty cool, but were not easy to use. First off, you had to dip it in ink all the time, and it made a really weird sound that gave me chills. You also had to write in cursive, and we really don't even learn cursive anymore. The readers are different from what the reading books are now. They're smaller and have more stories, and you had to share with the person at your desk. Lunch in 82 was different from lunch now. First, you had to hold your food in a lunch pail and put cloth over it. The food was different too. There was no Lunchables or stores to buy Little Debbie's. You had your leftovers from last night's dinner, like a biscuit, cheese, beef, and other things too. You ate outside on warm days, and you ate inside on cold days. We don't even eat outside on warm days now. I thought the whole trip was fun, but my favorite part was just being at the schoolhouse and knowing what it was like in 1892. I would say I like the school better today because it's more space and it's not as strict as 1892. Now you can say that you've been in school in 1892. Now ask yourself, do you like school then or now?
Bailey Couch has written a dual-person piece entitled How My Great-Grandparents Met. Reagan Sensabaugh will assist her.
How my great-grandparents met. I'm Graham.
I'm Paul.
My sister and her husband introduced us. It was a blind date, and we all went dancing. He asked me out again.
We met from a mutual friend. They introduced us to each other. We hung out for a couple of weeks and started dating.
We dated about 2 weeks.
The
rings were around $20 a piece.
The rings were around $35 a piece.
The wedding was around $20.
a piece.
We got married at a preacher's house in Norton, Virginia.
We got married
on August 11th, 1970. I wore a pink dress with a white collar.
I wore a dress shirt and pants.
We did not have a honeymoon. It has been 48 years now.
Since then.
That is how your Paul and I met.
That's how we met.
These two-part poems or stories are fantastic, and I love the different sort of dimensions that husbands and wives have. So,
Nicholas Culp at the songs.
The former slaves passed songs which helped slaves in the South escape to the North. The songs included directions through stars. Hunters waited at the path to the north to catch the slaves and return them back to the owner. The songs also included directions on places to visit. Members of the Underground Railroad would help you with food, transportation, and more directions in song form. If hunters were spotted by nearby places on the trail, the Underground Railroad would warn the slaves. In the songs, they would sing. They would also let you know if there was danger on the trail. Another way they could let you know if there was danger were quilts. The quilts may be blue for good and red for bad. If they could avoid all the dangers, they could escape to the north.
Lucas Addison is reading The Tale of the Wild.
The cause of industrializing shall not prevail. Our little mountain towns and forests tell a special tale. The tale of the wild, known very well. Its twisted trails and critters I've known since I was a child. Twisting and turning, they go on miles away. A foolish man could get lost and be stuck for the rest of the day. But many take down the trees and ship them far away. Men will buy the wood, but the environment is the one who will pay. But many people will come, and they save the day. They replant nature's mighty arms, and they grow again, for this is the right way.
Oh, yes, he's going to read us one more. Oh, this is exciting. Here we have a poem.
Up on the concrete trees is not where I desire to be. Down by the salty keys is not where I desire to be. There at the sandy hot sea is not where I desire to be. But up on the tall mount is where I want to be.
Excellent. We have very talented kids here. This is great. Okay, we have two more readers from Union Middle School. I think we have a large representation from Union Middle School, don't we? Will you please send our regards back to Mr. Clendenin? We were so sad that he couldn't be here, but isn't he a wonderful principal? Yes. We adore him. He's a wonderful man. So, here we go.
Allison Bowling is... I'm a survivor.
One day, when I was 3 years old, I went to Niswonger Children's Hospital in Johnson City, Tennessee, and I found out I had leukemia. I had been sick for a little while. My mother thought she knew what I had, but she wasn't sure. They put me in the hospital that day, and the next day I had to fly to Memphis. We lived in the Ronald McDonald House there for 6 weeks. The Ronald McDonald House is one of the places you could stay in Memphis if you were a patient at St. Jude. We stayed there because it was so close to the hospital, we could get there easily for my appointments. At first, I had to go to the hospital every day. After that, I came home and I only had to go to the doctor once a week. I had to go to the hospital to get chemo. My mom had to give it to me after I fell asleep every night, too. Sometimes chemo would make me sick. It made all of my hair fall out, and sometimes the medicine I had to take would make me grumpy, but it killed the cancer. I was in the hospital at least 20 times, but my mom or dad was always with me. We watched shows, played, and made crafts. My grandparents and other members of my family came to visit and brought me lots of gifts. My favorite place in the hospital was the playroom. I loved to play with toys and paint. I liked to play cootie, but at the time I called it the Ladybug game. It was so much fun. After almost 2.5 years of cancer treatment, I got a wish granted by Make-A-Wish. I got to go to Disney World and have a tea party with Princess Aurora. I wasn't allowed to drink real tea because of my medicine, so I had apple juice instead. 5 months later, I had a no-mo chemo party. We had cake, hot dogs, and bouncy houses. The firemen even came and gave fire truck rides. There were lots of people there to celebrate. Now I only have to go to St. Jude once a year. We raise money for the hospital every year. I'm still in remission. Life is good. I'm in 5th grade. I have many friends. I like to play video games, read, sing, dance, and watch YouTube. I also like to hang out with my older brother, Gavin Bowling. My goal in life is to become a fashion designer when I grow up. Thinking about my past makes me feel kind of sad, but also makes me feel proud. It makes me feel sad because I had to go through so much and I was so little. It makes me feel proud because I got through it and I beat cancer. Now I'm a survivor and there's no cancer in me.
She's not only a survivor, she's inspirational. I hope you get to be a fashion designer. You deserve it, and I think we should give a shout out to St. Jude because these are really poignant stories, and it's very brave of you to tell that, and Harper too. And I know there are a lot of people in here who are affected by this, but Allison, you are absolutely an inspiration to all of us. So thank you for that beautiful story.
Austin Sykes is going to tell about the old Sykes Mill.
The old Sykes Mill. In 1879, my great-great-great-grandfather, Noah Sykes, moved from Russell County, Virginia, to Dickinson County, Virginia. He was one of the first to settle into the area and helped establish the community and town of Clinchco. He bought 853 acres from a man named Billy Wright. The land had a home on it that had been built by Billy Wright's son, John. Noah soon moved his family into a one-room log cabin and began to settle in, making the land his home. Once he had settled in, great-great-great-grandfather Sykes started to work. He dammed up the creek, which is now known as Mill Creek, that ran through his land to service his flour mill. The dam was made of hewed logs, which were held together by wooden pegs. He also used hewed lumber to build the mill. Sykes's mill was one of the only mills in the area at the time. People came from all around to have corn and wheat ground. The corn was turned into meal and the wheat into flour. It was an important place for those in the area. After many years, as coal mining became more plentiful and railroads were being built to haul coal, Sykes's mill ground its last bit of corn and wheat and was shut down. Eventually, the mill was sold to make way for more railroads. However, when they began to tear the mill down, they discovered how well it was built, and they had to use explosives to tear it down and remove the dam. Years later, a train tunnel was named in his memory, the Sykes Tunnel. Today, his grave can still be found in Clinchco, Virginia.
That was a great story and a perfect example of how in the Origin Project we like to keep stories of history, and that one goes back so far, and that is exactly the kind of ideas of how you keep track of your family's memories and also talk about things that are really important about this area. So that's exciting. So we're getting there, but we still have a couple of exciting things. Every year, a number of our students and actually some of our teachers enter various competitions, and one of them is the John Fox Jr. Literary Festival, which is actually sponsored by the Mountain Empire Foundation. And we have two winners today about which we're very, very proud. So we would love to, first of all, have Morgan Griffith come up here, and Miss Woodward probably wants to say something about him because she knows him very well because he's one of her students. So Morgan, come on up. We're very proud of you. Morgan was on TV last year, by the way, too. You may remember that.
Morgan is going to be reading My Papa's Coat.
My papa's coat is blue jean with snaps, hand sewn, older than me, almost him. He wore it during the winter, feeding cattle early in the morning. The chilly air, blocked by the feast, warm as his hugs. Stained with love, grass, mud, soup greens, and cornbread, but mainly love. It's one of a kind and the only one of its kind.
That was beautiful, and you will be able to see a picture of Morgan in the coat in your book, which is also lovely. It's a beautiful story, and he's an award winner. And now we're going to hear from Alex Long, who is actually one of our treasured teachers from Lee High School, and actually happens to be the son of another of our treasured teachers, who's Gigi Long, who's the librarian at Flatwoods Elementary. So it's all in the family here. So congratulations, Alex.
Homecoming dinner.
Thank you. I always tell my students to, when they're writing these stories and poems, to think of something that has very strong emotion or a different point of view. So naturally they turn to me and they're like, you need to take your own advice. So I decided to compose this poem from a strong memory. And I'm sure everyone has had at least once if they've had to sit through a homecoming service before the dinner on a Sunday evening. Homecoming dinner. An itch suddenly forms in the midst of the preacher's call for God. The fragrance of fried chicken and dumplings permeates the air as the spirit dissipates from its fog. Anticipation, aggression, annoyance, the droning continues as a heavenly feast lies in wait outside. Yet another song stirs the congregation from their reverie. Shame and repentance floods their minds, allowing the carnal earth to replace our Heavenly Father. Mashed potatoes, gravy, deviled eggs, pie, baked ham, livers, corn on the cob. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Fried okra, coleslaw, banana pudding. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. A profound hunger surges as the adults rush forth in renewed holy redemption. Finally, the service completes. The stampede of unfed cattle commences from their pews. The wait is over. The supper is in sight. If only they didn't serve the children till last.
Congratulations. I've read it several times, and I love the piece. I'm so proud of him for doing that, but I'm sort of a combination of, it's just such a nice spiritual thing, but I don't know about you guys, but my stomach is growling and my mouth is watering, so very well done. Thank you so much. Okay, we're kind of at the end of our readers and our program, but we have one more message for you. Some of you were able to go to the Barter Theater in October when Lori Eustace, who is a beautiful poet, was able to speak to students there, and some of you were not able to go to that for timing and some logistical issues. But she is going to give us a little message here, and then I will give you a couple closing remarks. Here is Lori Eustace. Well, thanks to the beautiful Lori Eustace. She was a wonderful treat, and we'll try to get her back here at some point in the future. So that's it, guys. We are so proud of you. We're excited. What's going to happen now is in the back are boxes of books that are arranged by school. So the teachers are going to take the boxes back on the buses, and you'll get to have your books when you get back there. All of the adults, we have books for you over in that corner. Grace and Linda are waving to you right now, so adults get their copy too. And I want to thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful summer. As so many people have said, please wait just a sec. Read, write, be creative, and above all else, have fun. Thank you. We're proud of you. Congratulations.